Okay, so the first thing you're gonna do is write your name on the back of your paper with a pencil and then flip it over to the front. We're gonna use water-soluble oil pastels. So we're gonna blend with water today. So remember, the water-soluble oil pastels are in the box. And you guys are gonna be able to choose between warm or cold colors. I already did my one example with cold colors, so this one I'm gonna do warm colors. This one in my background, you can see I used the cold colors for the sky. I even added yellow at the bottom so it looked like there was a sunset. So anyways, I already did cold colors, so I'm gonna do warm colors for this one. And I'm gonna start with yellow at the bottom of my paper. I would suggest though, if you do choose cold colors, I would still start with yellow at the bottom. So basically, if you're using cold colors, you would be using yellow, green, blue, and purple. If you're using warm colors, you're just gonna use the 3 colors, which are the regular warm colors of yellow, orange, and red. Okay, I'm laying my oil pastel down on its side, and I'm kind of dividing up my paper, kind of looking for 3 different sections so I know where to stop with the yellow. I'm gonna go up a little bit higher. And then I'm gonna move on from yellow to orange. And watch how I'm actually gonna bring my yellow a little bit up higher, just so that whenever I add my orange, I can kind of blend them into each other. So I'm gonna overlap just a little bit so that when I do blend with the water, the 2 colors will also blend and it won't be such a huge difference between the yellow and the orange. Okay, I did my orange. Now I'm gonna move on to red. The next thing you're gonna do is you are going to blend with water, like I just talked about. So all you need is a paintbrush and water, and I'm gonna start at the bottom and work my way up, but I'm sliding my paintbrush back and forth across my paper so that it blends this way. One thing that's super important when you're blending with water is to make sure you're not using too much. Of course, your paper is going to be wet because you're putting water on it anyways, but it doesn't need to be soaking wet, and there's a reason for that. Whenever we use our India ink, we're going to paint with the India ink today, and if your paper is wet, like super, super wet, while you paint with the India ink, it's going to spread. And you're not going to get clean and crisp lines like you would right. The black part on this paper is actually the India ink, and because my paper was dry, it wasn't really able to spread out, which we don't want. You can actually kind of see in this little branch right here, my paper was just a teeny tiny bit wet, and so it started to spread out. I don't know if y'all can see that. So anyways, we want to avoid that. So just make sure your paper is not soaking wet. If it is, you're gonna have to wait to do this step. But mine is dry, so I'm gonna go ahead and start. You don't need that much India ink. I don't know if you can tell how much is in here, but there's not a lot. A little bit of India ink goes a very long way. India ink is very pigmented, which means the color black is very, very strong in India ink. I'm just gonna do a line. This is my ground, so I'm just gonna paint the whole thing in at the bottom. And then I'm gonna go ahead and add my trees in as well. I'm not gonna draw mine with pencil first just because I'm just gonna start adding them. I don't necessarily think we need to draw them with pencil first. So just remember that your bigger trees are obviously the ones that are gonna be closer to you in the picture. So I'm just gonna start with some lines first. And I'm gonna do all different sizes. And then once you have enough, you can always add more, but I'm gonna start with this. And I'm just gonna go out for my branches all the way down my tree trunk. And now that I've added all my branches, I kind of can see the holes that I want to fill in, so I'm going to do some smaller trees. Okay, and this is where we're gonna stop for today. Mine's already dry though, so I'm just gonna keep moving on. What you'll do for the second part of this project on day number 2, you are gonna add snow. I'll grab this example. And you can kind of see how I added white paint on top of my leaves, my little branches I'm drawing. So you're gonna get some white paint, and I grabbed a small paintbrush to do this with because I need thin lines. So I'm gonna dip my paintbrush, and then I'm only putting snow on like the top of my branches. So I'm not covering up my black line with the white. If you think about it, I'm really only covering up not even half, it's like less than half. A lot of the white is covering up the background that we painted instead of the branch. And you're gonna put snow on every single branch that you have. And you can even put some snow like on the bottom to make it look like there's little piles of snow where the India ink is or the ground is. But I'm just gonna keep going with the snow on the branches. Okay, and then once you're done adding the snow on your trees, you can even add some snow like falling. Oh wait, before you do that, hold on. I should have done the northern lights first. Y'all can kind of see how I added the northern lights up top. You're gonna get some chalk pastels and really just use any color. It's totally up to you. I definitely went out of order in this video. I want you guys to make sure you do your northern lights first. Otherwise, because if I added snow up here, I wouldn't be able to add the northern lights because my paint would be wet. So I'm going to do that really quick. And I'm not doing this in any like certain order. I'm just kind of making a little wavy line. And you can use literally any color. It's totally up to you. You can overlap them and have one like going in front of the other. So now I have my northern lights. Now I can do the snow on top of it. So again, I'm using the back of my brush. We've already had lots of practice with that. And I'm just gonna add snow falling everywhere in the sky.